So I'm here with Desi DosSantos in his garage with one of the original DeLoreans from Back to the Future Part 3, correct?
Yep.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about this car?
Sure. We acquired it back in 2003, Jeff and I did. And over the years, we've gone through painstaking restoration to try and put it back the way it was during the movie. We've just finished that up about a month ago or so. And we've added a few little extras like sound effects and lighting as well. And so we'll go ahead and show you a little bit of that.
Okay.
So we got the door opening effect. I'll go ahead and turn on the time circuit. You can see the time circuit obviously lights up and the gauges move, but as well the hood box lights up.
Okay. So now we're in the car, and what can you tell me about the gadgets on the dashboard?
Well, the time circuit has the ability to put in any kind of a destination time, so I can do that here, like putting in July 4th, 1776. And you'll see it puts that as a new destination time.
Oh, cool.
Then we have a digital speedometer that just reads 0 because we're not moving. We've got the plutonium gauges on the right-hand side. And interestingly, the dashboard, you'll notice, how it only goes up to 80 miles an hour, like all DeLoreans. Even though we needed to go 88 miles an hour in the movie, the insert shot of the speedometer was a different gauge.
Very cool. Based on your description on the ScreenUsed.com site and the special site you set up for this vehicle, what was the condition of the interior like when you first got this car?
It was pretty bad. The car had been left outside, so there's no ceiling in the back since the window was removed from the back of the car, so the rain can go right in if it's left outdoors. It was then handed over to George Barris, who was to restore it for display at the Peterson Museum. And what he did, instead of trying to restore it, was spray paint the entire interior black, and then put a bunch of light rope and a bunch of plastic parts all over the outside of the car to try and make it look cool. But he wasn't obviously restoring it accurately.
Right.
So after that, it then went back to the back lot for some more time, and that's when we got a hold of it. So it was a mess. All the interior leather had been spray painted black, and from being out in the sun was pretty much shredded. So we didn't have much of a choice. When we got it, we had to replace the interior, otherwise it just looks like a car that caught on fire.
Right. So how long was the whole restoration process once you identified what needed to be done and started putting it back together?
Well, if we would have done it straight through, it probably would have taken a good year or so. We took it slowly. My brother did most of the restoration, and we took it a little bit at a time, and it went over about 7 years.
Wow. So here's the front of the DeLorean, and this is the box with all the gadgets and whatnot on it. What can you tell me about this box and what it took to kind of recreate what you see in the movie?
Sure. Well, the hood box that was used on this car is actually, it does still exist. It's hanging upside down from the ceiling at Planet Hollywood in Hawaii. But obviously, since we couldn't get that, this was put together. It was made by 3 guys, Joe Walzer, Chris Klein, and Joe Kovacs. And they built this as the most accurate hood box. So it was fitting that it would work on this car. I was able to acquire it from them, and all hooked up. Changed out some of the lighting. Throughout the entire car, actually, all the lighting has been changed to LEDs, so there's no heat, it won't wear out as fast, etc.
Okay. So now we're at the back of the car. What can you tell us about all the stuff going on with the back of the car here?
Sure. Well, on the back of the car, the vent pieces that are here that you see are original. They've been refinished because over the years the paint had faded. These little boxes here and the tube that goes across the top is original. Some of the other little pieces are, and then the rest of this on the sides, on both sides, had to be recreated. they had used a lot of the parts off this car on other cars. So what they did when they had the cars either during the movie or after the movie, they cannibalized parts from one car to another. So pieces of this car, the original pieces, are on various other cars at Universal Studios in Tokyo or wherever.
And how many cars are known to still have survived the production and are identified?
They used the 7 throughout the 3 movies. Some of them have been crushed. Pieces have been taken off beyond repair. Really, there's only 3 complete cars left that roll. Other than that, the rest are gone. Okay. The other 2, one is at Orlando, Universal Studios Orlando on display. The other one's on display at Universal Studios Hollywood. So this is the 3rd one.
Okay. Did you read Entertainment Weekly? There was one that was in a pictorial a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Which one is that?
That was a replica.
That was a total replica?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And they stated so in the article as well.
Got it.
But the replicas are getting very, very accurate.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay.
Sure. So behind the seat area is actually probably the most interesting because almost everything back here is original that came with the car, except for the flux capacitor. That was taken out and used in another car or somewhere else. Everything, including the spectrum analyzer and all the pieces here, were restored. This was cleaned up. The one that was in the car did not have lights in it, even though it had all these LEDs to look like that, because again, they would use a process car or a close-up car for that. So we added the lights just for the heck of it, and we added a sound chip behind it that's playing music so it moves around a little bit. The other interesting piece back here is the roll cage. You can see all the way around. It goes down to the bottom, up through the front, and it's actually tied all the way into the chassis. And that was specific to the 2 desert cars, this one and the other one that they made, to protect Michael J. Fox. And here we can see a 5-point harness that comes around to the seat, and again, specific to the car.